Well, good afternoon and welcome to Ed's Orchids. Now, this is for the CareCollab on slippers, but as you all know, that I was a week early with my video, so I do apologise to everybody, but I thought, well, the only thing I can do is put another small CareCollab on for slippers and we'll see how it goes. You've got the plants in front of you, which are fragmipediums, which I won't go into because I did more on those last week. So this week we'll just talk a bit about paphiopedilums and what they do and how I try to do things and where they grow. Well, we all know that paphiopedilums are the Far Eastern slipper orchids, and they grow on the mulch forest floors, and some grow in mosses in between crevices and sometimes on the crevices of limestone rocks. And with that in mind, you'll find that a lot of people do add limestone to the media. Now, limestone is only soluble in very cold water. And seeing as that we feed or we water the plants with warm water, the limestone isn't going to do any good in the pots. If you're using tap water, then there'll be enough limestone or enough calcium in the tap water to give the plant all the calcium it needs. But if you're using things like distilled water, rainwater, RO water, you'll need to add a little bit of calcium. Now, the finest calcium you can use for this purpose is calcium nitrate, because the roots readily take up the calcium in that way of feeding. And it also gives you some nitrogen as well. You're using bark to use as a potting media, then what you should really do is soak the bark beforehand. Now, but the bark you get is generally, the bark you should get, it should be very hard. We can get in different sizes, of course, but it should be very hard. And when you get this, it's probably in bags or plastic bags or paper bags, whatever it's in. But what you'll need to do is always be full of bits and pieces that you don't want. So what to do in this case is fill a bucket full of water, put what you need in that water and leave it for overnight or 2 days if possible, if you're not using it then. And only use the wood or the bark that floats to the top. Now, once you've taken that off the top, just let it dry a bit till the surface gets dry, and then it's ready for using, because inside the bark there, after having soaked it, there will be moisture in it, so that'll be beneficial to the roots. Now, if you use dry bark, which I used to use, that can take ages for it to become waterlogged. So you have to keep watering it. I used to water them 3-4 days on the trot just to soak it. So it's quite easily done to soak it to begin with. And lately, a lot of people have been using coconut husk, which I have as well, but I can't appreciate any difference between them. And I have heard that, you know, when you get the plants from the Far East that are grown in coconut husks, which are mainly used for cattleyas, and we've all bought some of these plants and tried to unpot them from the coconut husk, which takes a heck of a time. But they seem to grow well that way. So we try them here, we try them on cattleyas, we try them on paphiopedilums, we try them on anything. Only I've never found that it's been beneficial to them for some reason. And having a look on the web, sometimes it says that if you use coconut husk, they don't perform as well inside as they do outside. So that might be something to think about. And now we come to the moss, and I'm not talking about the sphagnum moss, the dried sphagnum moss that you get from New Zealand. I mean, I don't like that stuff. I think it holds far too much water and it compacts quite easily. I'm talking about live moss. Now, live moss is always nearly, well, it nearly always guarantees that you can revive a plant. And these have been put in live moss here because of root shortage. And I'm just hoping to grow the roots well. The thing about moss is, live moss, is that if you use it properly and don't compact it, it will allow air to get round the roots. And it won't allow the roots to become waterlogged. Now, to grow moss and keep it alive, it's necessary that you give it plenty of light. Sunlight if possible, so it requires a lot of sunlight. So what it needs to do is you need to plant them up in clear pots, so all the moss that you're using gets any available light. It's best not to plant them in black pots for that reason, because that will almost certainly help the moss to die off. Now, what I do in these is, this is a little, what is it, Delanati. It hasn't been doing very well, but now it's putting up a nice new growth here, and I hope the moss helps it on its way. I'll get the camera, then I can see what I'm talking about. Well, these are in clear pots, and you can see the moss with a little bit of bark and a bit of polystyrene at the bottom there. But I've put the roots and everything just curled round the bottom of the plant there to help the roots to grow. But I've got them in these clear pots with holes in that allows the air to get round the roots, which is a thing you've got to do. Now, some people say, well, how do you feed these with the moss? Well, what I do is I use a very diluted fertilizer. Let me start again. I use a very diluted mix of seaweed, and that's all I use for them, and I don't give them too much. And when you'll find the tops drying out quicker than the insides. So what I do every so often, when I feel it dry on top, I just spray a little water on top there, and hopefully that will help them to form new roots. And I think if you use ordinary commercial fertiliser, I think the chemicals in it will kill the live moss. In fact, I'm sure it will. So I don't think the seaweed will do that, especially in the dosages that I'm giving it, which is only about 50 to 80 parts per million. And its simplicity to water these, you can see the holes around there, so you just got this and just give the holes a spray if you want to water the insides, or like I do, just a spray on the top, and you should see the moss changing colour. There you are. Shows the red moss, and that's all I do to water. Well, I think that was just a little bit different to the one I did last week. So we'll just finish up by having a quick browse of the frags. This is a rictri with a nice spike on. There's another coming over the back there. And I'm pleased to say I've got the cardinale, which is coming into spike. So I'm pleased about that. So I'll have 3 Frags in spike: the Cardinale, the Fritz Schomburg, and the Richter Eye. So in another couple of months, I hope to double that amount. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm sorry I haven't done the full CareCollab video, but I hope this just will add to a bit of the enjoyment. So once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.